So we got some Whoppers for you today. Who'd have thought that in Mexico you could get Whoppers? We eat a lot of tacos in Mexico, but we're gonna give you some Whoppers today. If I didn't know any better, it looks like one of those boats is in trouble. Smoke coming out of it, but it's not normal for two boats to be that close together. Not only that, there's like a dinghy or two also off on the side there, and it's too cold for that, just so you can see what I'm talking about. It's not tropical. Not all of Mexico's tropical.
Zoom in on the boat.
Okay. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. Try to zoom in. You see that? Two boats, but one of them is something's wrong with it. And then you see the little boat there, the little dinghy right there. Right there, you see it? So something's going on. It's all coming down, folks. So in this video, I'm going to give you a few Whoppers. And if you are new to the channel, this is Frank and Angie. We've been retired early lifestyle since our late 20s. 10 years worth of homesteading, raising the children in USA. 10 years worth of world travel. You know, we have a little bit of a wide perspective.
We homeschooled our 3 sons.
And who knows what the next 10 years is going to bring. Stay tuned, you will find out. And we give you our perspective, which is not always welcome, because we don't want to be bearers of bad news, but things are falling apart. Listen to this. I'm standing there at the counter here at Walmart, and she tells me, I don't have any money. I don't have any money. In Spanish, of course. And while she's telling me that, my mind is churning. Of course, I'm silent. To her, I'm silent. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just staring at her, and my mind's churning. But she's standing there, repeating herself to me, I don't have any money, I don't have any money. And my mind's going, okay, how many billions is this corporation? How many billions is Walmart? It's like an international company. What's the market cap of Walmart? We'll go back to the computer and
yeah, we'll do the research.
Get the exact figure, but I'm sure it's in the mega billions.
Yeah.
And she's standing there telling me I don't have any money. And she says, did you understand me? Because I'm just staring at her, my mind going, how many billions does Walmart have? And she's telling me she doesn't have any money. And last week they said, well, come back in 2 hours. We went back in 2 hours. They still didn't have any money. Then they said, come back in 2 more hours. We went around town, went to another Walmart, in case you were wondering. They didn't have any money either. They started putting up a bunch of roadblocks. And you say, well, don't go to Walmart, go somewhere else. They're the only ones that get the other stores, they won't give you hardly anything. 50 bucks, 100 bucks max. You know. It's way more expensive than that in Mexico. You're going to need more than $50 to $100 in Mexico. This is not the Mexico of 1986, which we were here, by the way, in 1986 in Mexico. She doesn't have any money. You watch. We'll go back here in 2 hours. And she likes to tell me, see all those other people? They're also waiting. Just to let me know, nothing personal. Those people are waiting too. And that's the first Whopper. Real estate market talk, because it's intertwined with the economy. The whole banking system is intertwined with the real estate industry. It's all part of the same thing. And a lot of the economy is based on banking, real estate, and all that. So it's a good gauge, and I've been involved from time to time in real estate ever since, as I got married back in the early 80s. And the very first house we bought in Portland, Oregon, you'd laugh at the price we paid for it. It was 12 times more than what we paid for it now, but that was a long time ago. But my point is that a lot of these real estate markets are softening. I was just listening to some people saying how terrible some of these markets are and how much the real estate prices have tanked. And yet there are some sub-markets where you've got areas where people would never dream of going before. You know, I mean, there's just Podunkville, you know, places that nobody really moves to unless you're actually from there already. Most people weren't moving there. And you know, within the culture, you always had this veneer of mockery towards all things Southerner and Southern accent and all that, which we don't do that because we lived in the South for almost 20 years, raised our kids there, best place in the world to raise your family.
Yeah, we're not the ones calling it podunk.
Yeah, I'm just saying that culturally speaking, it was not a place where people were moving, and it's generally speaking considered to be, you know, there's nothing out there kind of thing. But now you've got some of these sub-markets. I was just looking this morning at some real estate data that said that year over year from last year, prices have increased 39%. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And just people are just rushing to some of these really cheap Podunkville, you know, places where, you know, that you think, no way, there's nothing out there. But times have changed, and a lot of times this is historical. I mean, you have these geopolitical things that happen in the world that kind of cause a kind of a geo-arbitrage kind of thing happening, where things are happening because of reasons, substantial reasons, underlying reasons, like the decay of Portland, Oregon, which is where we bought our first house when we got married, which I was just watching some people talk about how it has, I know even over 20 years ago, it was you already started seeing tent cities and stuff, and that was just the beginning. You would see a few of them here and there. Now it's gotten to the point where it's unbearable. It's an unbearable amount of decay in the city, and that's just, and I'm not picking on Portland, it's just exemplary of a lot of cities, a lot of places, even places like Phoenix, Arizona is seeing a lot of it going on, and so, but these little other places outside are booming, and so you can't really have conversations about how terrible the real estate economy is because there are sub-markets, you know, just fragmented markets in smaller areas that are just people are just seem to be flocking to, that would never in the past in a million years done such a thing. And you see it in the groups where people from Seattle would, you know, they're like selling their property. I'm moving down to small town out in nowhere, Texas, you know, and I don't know how people are going to do, because we've seen this and we've reported on it with parallel geopolitical issues such as people moving abroad. There are many things happening all at once. Lots of people think moving abroad is the thing to do now, but of course they've thought that for a dozen years because of all the mainstream push to get people abroad, and it's all about the real estate for them. But people get a rude awakening when they go to these places because of many reasons we've talked about. And some of these places people don't normally move to. You know, it's not places where people would normally, it's just an unheard of kind of migratory patterns that we're seeing, not just nationally within the USA, but also extranationally out of USA to other countries, and out of Europe to other countries also. But as we've shown you in other videos what's happening, we like to get to the bottom of things. There's lots of things happening all over the place, not to be minimized at all. That's why we bring you these whoppers, so that you can see with your own eyes what's happening. So yeah, you got these sub-markets, these smaller areas, these Podunkville areas that normally people would refer to, that are just amazingly booming. And just to say, it isn't something we're not considering. I mean, going to some small town out in the country. I mean, when you look at what's happening even here in Mexico, you know, there's always this back and forth of, should we stay abroad? Should we just go out to the country, small town, get to know your neighbors? What do you do? What do you want to do? Tell us in the comments, what are your thoughts on that? For people that are ahead of the curve like us, you can make money off that, you know, without compromising your principles. That's my point. That's a lot of the times what we talk about on our channel is so many people compromise their principles in order to promote something. And it's just, if there's a normal flow of things that people are doing and it's causing an opportunity, great. But if you have to resort to less than transparent means of getting people to do things they normally wouldn't do in order for you to profit, that's a whole different scene there. That's a whole different scenario. On another note, we keep hearing how this is the biggest retirement wave of our history, you know, the baby boom retirement, right? And in many ways it creates a lot of opportunities, but I've also been seeing that an awful lot, a big, huge percentage of the US population will not have much of a retirement depending on Social Security. Just so you can see, we made our round. We went all the way down and came back, and you can see the progress of the boat here on the right that is just like sinking. Look, it used to be equal with the boat on the left. We wish we knew what it was, but it's some sort of definitely not a joyride.
He looks like he's dumping over onto the left. You see that? I think they're taking on water.
Yeah.
See how it's doing this?
Yeah, it's crooked. It's leaning to one side. Huh.
But what is to the left of it over there?
That's that little dinghy, little...
Oh, okay. They just cut off and they're in the boat, the little dinghy.
Yeah.
They're trying to get away from it before it sinks.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming to the channel and have a wonderful day.